Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos, and today I'm just giving you guys a quick update of the deck I used to get King of Games this season and also reach DLV Max. And it's the same Dark Lord deck that I uploaded recently. And yeah, I mean this deck is so much fun. It's obviously super strong, but you still gotta know what you're doing. It's not, I don't know, I like to think that it's a fun deck that's not, you know, entirely brain dead. You obviously have your bread and butter plays, but a lot of it depends on the matchup of what you're gonna do. And yeah, I have some cool replays to show you guys from both of those climbs, and that's pretty much it. I guess I'll go over the deck list. We still have one Desire, one Lucifer, one Morningstar, one Morningstar, one Superbia, one M-Dusk, and one Tesca. Those are all the one-ofs in the deck that you hope not to draw all at once in the same opening hand, but it does happen every once in a while. The deck does brick when you don't open literally any of your other core cards. The rest is the standard stuff. We have 3 Eggshell, 3 Banishment, 3 Contact, 3 Sanctify, and 3 Nastin. Extra deck is just to throw my opponent off a little bit so that they don't immediately know that I'm running Dark Lords. And as you can see, we got DLV Max and King of Games. I did this a couple days ago, and I did King of Games yesterday morning. So let me go ahead and show you some of the duels that I thought were pretty interesting as far as matchups. There is one deck in here, you guys will see a replay, where I had no out at all to what the opponent was throwing at me, and yeah, I'm not sure how I won that. Even though I have the replay to watch it back, it's still a little puzzling, but you guys will see that. Alright, so here we're going up against Neos Cyber Darks. I'm gonna activate Banishment. We did open double Banishment, which is kind of broken. Draw 2. We're gonna summon Nastin first so I can search Sanctify. And now I'm gonna go for Contact, summon the Eggshell, search for a Desire, go for the Desire on Nastin, activate Beatdown. And I could feel there was no delay at any point. If there was a delay, I would have guessed this is like a Treacherous or something else. Because there was no delay, I feared the Drowning Mirror Force, and that's why I didn't just tribute the Eggshell and try to go for the OTK. We're kind of playing around that. Opponent's going to switcheroo, goes for the Neos Fusion. There was a delay on the attack, but I think he wanted to get his switcheroo, so he went ahead and did that. Alright, we're going to summon the Nastin first, so we can send him back to the grave and get our Desire back to 3000. Get rid of his Brave Neos. Summon another Nastin. Now we're gonna try to go for game. We see that it was a Wall of Disruption, not a Drowning Mirror Force, but we still played around it well during that first turn. And now all I have to do is search for my Morningstar, tribute both monsters that have no attack, not before I use Eggshell's effect, of course. Send 3, go for the Beatdown. He's gonna use the Bacon Saver. I'm still worried because he already showed one Wall of Disruption. I didn't want to run myself into another one. If he has something like Enemy Controller, he can't target my Morningstar, so I'm trying to force the other non-targetable cards. He sets one more card. I'm gonna do the same thing, get some life, activate Beatdown, go for game. Now he's activating the Enemy Controller here in a good way. It could have been a mistake. Maybe he didn't know that he couldn't target Morningstar. Because right now he's forced to target my Nastin and switch him into attack position. But that's gonna work out for him because he has the Windstorm, or so he thought. We're gonna go ahead and chain the Nastin, special summon Eggshell in defense position. When the Windstorm resolves, she's gonna go back and she's gonna switch to attack position, and we can deliver the finishing blow. But yeah, interesting duel. Played around everything correctly. I know a lot of Dark Lord decks are using Cosmic Cyclones. I don't want to add more cards to the deck that I feel are going to end up bricking me. So that's why it's pure Dark Lord. There's literally nothing outside the archetype in the deck or in my deck list, and I just powered through the back row, man. Force it in and play around as much of it as I can. So here we have a Triamint. This was a pretty straightforward win. We have the ideal opening hand, Banishment. We're gonna draw Superbia, use Superbia and Eggshell to draw 2. Now I can special summon the Superbia to get an Eggshell back in attack position, which is the important thing here. Trying to go aggressive this turn. We also have a Tesca already protecting us, so we're not worried about Pulse, we're not worried about Treacherous. Activate Eggshell to search Sanctified. I always like to search Sanctified like this, so that I can put it in the grave and be ready for next turn. Also put a Banishment in the grave so I can search my Desire. Desire is going to go on the Canadia, that's fine. He gets to survive this turn, but I have a pretty strong field and not a whole lot he can do. He goes for a Hunter into Dancer, realizes that's all that they can do, and then give me the scoop. Alright, next we have a Joy Wheeler, and this is one of the more tricky matches or matchups for Dark Lords. It's Metaphys. The reason why it's tricky is because Dark Lords like to finish things in one turn and go aggressive. The grid is going to protect them, and all of your monsters are special summons, so you have to be careful playing around the Decklist. And also you don't really have an out for the Metaphys dimension, so your stuff is going to be constantly getting banished. There's the Metaphys Decklist. We can't OTK right here even if we wanted to, because I kind of make a mistake and I'm not able to get 3 monsters on the board in attack position. And I'm also kind of afraid, I've seen Metaphys run Drowning Mirror Force, so we're playing this conservatively, putting 2 in defense position, get those searches in, go for the beatdown, and force one of those back rows. We do force the Canadia, so even if I'd gone with 3 monsters, that wasn't going to be enough to get over the grid and, you know, finish him off. So I'm glad I played it conservatively. There's the Metaphys Dimension. It's going to banish my face down Nastin, which is fine. Gold Sarcophagus is going to banish another Decklist. So here he's going to get another banish off of Dimension. Targets my Eggshell. I'm going to activate Sanctified Lord and send the Eggshell to the graveyard, that way it doesn't get banished. Gain some life in the process, and at least we're going to be able to take care of the grid right here. We can't finish him off, but it's going to be down to 1 life. I just gotta hope I get lucky, because Dale is here. I think I have 1 Sanctified, so it wouldn't have banished my entire field. Yeah, I think he knew I had a Sanctified, so he goes for a Metaphys Tyrant instead. Tries to banish my Eggshell, so we're going to use Eggshell's effect. I was waiting to see what he was going to target first before using that effect. Now that he's attacking the Nastin, we're going to get a Tesca on the board. And I'm just trying to keep, you know, my monsters afloat. They keep getting banished, unfortunately, because of Metaphys Dimension. But this is the top deck that I needed, and now I just have to take a huge gamble right here. He's going to, of course, target my Tesca. We're going to chain the Tesca effect to gain 2900 life, and here is where the gamble begins. I have 5400 life. He needs another big boy to be able to kill me next turn, and I'm hoping he won't be able to summon that. So we're gonna activate Beatdown Suicide. The reason we have to Suicide here is because if he banishes my Superbia, I lose. Now I have Superbia and I have a monster, which is Nastin, that I can summon in attack position, which is the important part. So I'm just hoping that 4700 life is gonna keep me alive. I knew his Tyrant Dragon was gonna be banished, so he needed to somehow summon 2 big boys right here. Probably needed the field spell. I was kind of hoping he wouldn't run the field spell. Hits me for 29. We survive, which is all we needed. Now I can activate Contact, summon that Nastin in attack position, and thanks to Beatdown, I can get over the Tyrant Dragon and, you know, deal the rest of the damage. He sees that and scoops. But that's a pretty intense match though. And this right here is the deck I have no out to, because I don't run anything that can destroy back row. My only monster removal, even though it's non-destruction, targets. So his turn 1 setup I can't beat. All I have to hope is to stall out, and I'm not even sure if I would have been able to deck him out, but you guys will see what happens here. Alright, so Labyrinth Builder, we've seen this combo before. Going to Violent Epsilon. Get a Violent Segment. He already has the Power of the Guardians in hand. Okay, so we can destroy Power of the Guardians. We can get around Power of the Guardians with our Desire, because Desire doesn't destroy. But we can get around this card, Violent Segment. Equip only to a violent monster. It cannot be targeted by the opponent's monster effects or trap effects. Or trap does not target, so we can still use it on this, but we can use our Desire effect, which is why I have no out whatsoever. So what I have to do here is just go for my bread and butter plays. Try to stall out as much as possible and see if he gives me an opening more than anything. Alright, we're gonna activate Dark Lord Contact. Had a really good hand too, just a tricky matchup. I'm not worried though. I mean, this deck, you'll see it once in a while. Another Power of the Guardians. He goes for the Epsilon, and this is where I thought, okay, maybe he can give me an opening if he gets rid of his Violent Segment, trying to destroy a monster. Because, you know, to get to my life, he's gonna have to get through 3 monsters most of the turns. So we're gonna negate that effect. He goes for the Nastin. Nastin is gonna bring back an Eggshell. And we have a lot of life right here. Eggshell is going to get me some more life, basically. Now Banishment, I'm gonna search the Sanctified Dark Lords, so I can keep negating the effects and gaining life in the meantime. We also picked up a Tesca, which is protection from one attack. Alright, so we're gonna negate that effect, so he can't destroy me. Gain a ton of life. And he's decked in, which is good for me if I'm going for the deck out. I'm gonna use the Tesca to protect or Eggshell. Draw 2. I was trying to get to that Sanctified, and here I'm using Amdust to get my Tesca back, and that works for 2 reasons. I get another protection, and I also have a Sanctified Dark Lord in the grave to negate the Epsilon effect. When I saw him do this, I was like, okay, there's my opening. What does this do? This inflicts piercing. Yeah, so I was like, there's my opening. If he doesn't use another segment, I can hopefully get to my Desire and win the game. But unfortunately, he's smarter than that. So he's gonna get a segment back and equip it yet again. So I'm like, okay, maybe if he focuses on the piercing, he'll keep using the segment to try to destroy my monsters. When I have to go for Morningstar here, kind of a desperate tactic. We mill a Dark Lord Contact, which is what I needed. Now I can search another trap card with my Eggshell, and we're actually going to sacrifice that Morningstar to negate the effect and gain life. And once again, he got rid of the segment, so I got excited again. I'm like, okay, is he gonna give it to me this time? Nope. Equips the other segment, goes for the direct attack, and this is where I don't know what happened. We're gonna pick up a Dark Lord Contact, summon Superbia, summon Eggshell, and my opponent scoops. I think at that point he had had enough of my stall tactics. I don't think he had lost the duel by any means. I was running out of resources. I probably could have stalled some more. I mean, I had a ton of life, but I don't know. I don't think he needed to scoop. I really think he was just annoyed with the whole interaction. I was like, you know what? I'm done. I scoop. And this was my King of Games rank up match against 6 Samurai. They are gonna get a turn 1 Xian, which kind of sucks because that can negate my my banishment, though I get very lucky right here, picking up a second banishment. So it's gonna negate the first one, that's fine. We have a second one waiting, and after that we'll just have to play around the dual wheel. When I activate this contact right here and summon the Superbia, I felt a delay, which told me that it wasn't a dual wheel. So now all I have to do is play around something like what's that card? World Legacy Clash. It turns out it's a floodgate. That's completely fine. We still win the game because I can search a Desire. I can summon Nastin from my hand, use Desire's effect to send the Xian to the grave, and that's the game. Yeah, he sees that. We get the scoop and the King of Games rank up. So yeah, the deck is super strong. It's really fun, and you guys are probably gonna see me use it a lot going forward. I mean, you guys know that when I find a deck that I enjoy and is strong, I'm gonna keep using it. I'm not too fond of meta decks, but when I like the deck, I like the deck. So we're gonna be using this for a while. Not all the time. I want to try Ultra Athletes the next time I stream. There is a tournament tonight, so I'm not gonna be able to duel, but you guys should definitely come out and watch the tournament. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and till next time.